Goodness, if I had known, I could have prepared a lot of things for you.
A while ago, you said that one of the boys' memory had differed on when he received the note, or something
Right.
to that effect. Are you saying that he didn't receive the note?
No, and that one to me was very telling. At one point, oh gosh, and now I don't want to say anything that's not right myself. I believe there were 3 notes. He said that they were all, that's what it was. He said he received them. He also claimed that an event occurred where I was inappropriate with him in my vehicle. He said that those notes occurred way after that, after the car incident. Before he decided to say that I had done anything to him in the car, he had said that they all occurred way back before that date, that the car incident would have occurred had it occurred.
But you don't deny that you gave him the notes?
Correct. I gave him...
So the timing on when you gave them to him is really irrelevant?
No, it's not irrelevant at all. Because he said, originally, I gave him the notes back, let's say it was the very beginning of the school year. I'm just making up dates here. It was, I believe, the beginning of September. I've got a calendar and have it all. Anyway, I think y'all even have that calendar that I gave to you last year or the year before. Anyway, he did not initially make the allegation that I did something to him in the car. And he said I gave him the notes back originally, earlier on. Then, after he decided to make this allegation that I did something to him in the car, he said, oh, well, no, the notes were all after that. It was after the car incident. Because had they been before, and had they meant anything inappropriate, anything sexual, he would never have gotten in the car with me in the first place. If he was uncomfortable, Miss Ogletree was doing this terrible stuff to him, writing him these horrible notes. That only makes sense. So he said, oh, no, that didn't happen until afterwards. It was after the car incident that then she kept after me with these notes. To me, that's one of the biggest things, is he completely changed that.
I guess, as a board senator, our question is, for you as a teacher at Glenrose
Yes.
School, why would you give notes, coded notes to a student to begin with?
Okay, I've discussed that as well, and you have that information as well, too. That it was part, and I don't, if I thought y'all, hold on. Sorry. It's also a little bit emotional for me because I feel we've gone over this ground, and I truly felt after my level 2 hearing with the administration this time around, I thought they were actually listening and maybe caring and maybe might do something different, and they didn't. And so I would love to talk to you guys for 3 hours. I just always believe the good in people, and then it's shot down. And so I don't want to just be shot down again by thinking you care when you don't. Because you've already been told all this. Your question was, why did I do it? Because if you go back and read it, I'll give you a refresher. The kids were coming in talking about some notes that some other kids were writing in another class. And I said, we used to do stuff like that when I was in school. You write a note like this, and I did that as an example. The note based on something they had come in saying about something that happened at a Sonic after the football game. That's the premise. And the rest, you've got it all.
Well, there were multiple notes, correct?
There were 3. There were 3 in a 2-day period. That same day and then in another, the very next day.
Are there any other questions? I failed to point that we have been in deliberation since 7:30. That needs to be reflected.
Well, actually, I've got a question. Is this not still the question and answer phase? Isn't deliberation?
I was asking if there were any other questions. I just went back to reflect that we had been deliberating since 7:30.
Okay, so I thought there were 2 phases, a question and answer phase, and then a separate deliberation where you guys would deliberate with each other. Is that not deliberation?
I think we've been deliberating, but yes, we're still taking questions.
Okay. Okay.
I think, Madam President, I think she's right. I think we're still having the question, but we haven't got into deliberation yet. Okay. She's right on that.
Thank you.
Did Did you have another question?
No, I
Oh, I
just wanted to
thought
say
you
that I
said you
hadn't,
had
that I
one.
hadn't seen any deliberation amongst
Okay.
the board members. I would, just to finish off that answer, maybe just say that, my goodness, I hope that all I'm really hearing about, the biggest concern is the notes. I understand that might be, that's a really good question in people's mind. Why would I have written something like that if it wasn't intended to be something inappropriate? Well, I told you why, it was because of the game, but also, somebody can just throw up their hands and say, you know what, I don't know why she did it, but she did, it's obvious. The last note, the student does not say was inappropriate, even the student doesn't say that, okay? My guess for that, it was only like 4 letters, couldn't think of very much to say. But even the student, according to the student's own story, the last note that was, quote, in code was not inappropriate. So would I write something in code that's not inappropriate? Yes, I would, and I did. I sure hope that I am not being treated as a criminal, as someone who is not safe to be around kids, being denied employment by the school here in my community because of a foolish, off the cuff, whatever thing I did 7 years ago. I would hope that that isn't what's going to, quote unquote, haunt me for the rest of my life. Forget the fact that I was accused of these horrible, outrageous things that were proven to have not happened. Goodness, I was what, 23 maybe? 23 or 24? 22? Let's just say 23 for an average, I don't know, something like that. And I would bet that a lot of you would hope that something like writing notes on a sheet of paper when you were 23 years old wouldn't be held against you for the rest of your life. I've been through it. I told Mr. Rotan in our level 2 group hearing that if he's concerned I would do that again, I can assure you I certainly would not. I've more than learned my lesson. I wouldn't take a ride, give a kid a ride home anymore. It's sad, but I wouldn't. There's a whole lot of things I would never do anymore. So last night we took a group of kids to Six Flags, and if there's kids whose parents weren't there to pick them up, would I give them a ride home? No. I've been through that. I've nearly lost my life in large part because of that. I nearly lost my license because of that. No, if that's your big concern that I'm going to write notes to a 3rd grader or kindergartner or a 12th grader, the answer is no. And all of the serious allegations of wrongdoing